Okay guys, I did a little bit without bringing you guys along, but it would have been boring anyways. So I sealed off, I cleaned out them valve spring covers, got all that done, drained the oil that was in it and all the stuff I've been using to clean it, flushed that out with oil. I checked for spark, it is sparking. I stole the carburetor and intake off of another engine at the storage unit. New spark plugs. We got fuel into it. I filled it up with oil. Dumped a little bit of gas in it so far, and I want to bring it along to see if it'll fire on its first try. It has compression, it's blown stuff out the exhaust when I didn't have the spark plugs hooked up, so I put the engine together somewhat, have it hot wired just so I don't burn any wiring up. I made my own little Mickey Mouse intake gaskets out of a cereal box. Like I said, this is all just for fun, see if it'll work. See what happens. So I'm going to set things up and we'll see if it's going to fire. This will be the first for me and you. Alright, hopefully you guys can see me. That doesn't fall down. Let's see what happens. Just was cranking over there. Come on. Right in the oil. Why wouldn't it go anywhere else? Hope that's not disappointing. You would. I know. I just want like a 5-second run time. You'd think I filled that float bowl up some. Hasn't been ran forever, so you gotta give it some time to get happy. Oh, you bastard. ignition might be coming and going. That's my best guess. Where's your fucking gas hose? Rusty fuckers that were in it. Let's see if spark gauge is any better with that one. For the other laugh. Let's see what spark plug looks like. What's shaping up? fucking junk spark plugs delivering a new one. Gee, Merry fucking Christmas, come on. Son of a bitch. Shit. Jiminy fucking Christmas. Shit. I'll be fucking damned. Ooh, she got fucking hot. She didn't fucking like that. Fuel line in front of the exhaust. Well, I guess she runs. Nice. Dumping gas all over my fucking self. That's even nicer. Well, there you have it. I guess it runs. I don't know if it's because I overfilled it with a little bit of too much oil or what, but it seemed to have some blow by. So once I can get it running to where it, well, once I get the muffler on is when I can actually run it to see what it's doing. But it's where we're at. So I'm gonna try and get a muffler on it so I can actually run and not piss off all the neighbors, and then go from there. All right, I'll be back, guys. Okay, we got the hillbilly setup going on. We got the stack off of my chicken dinner over there, and then I got the OEM shusher vice grip to the other one, because I want to hear this thing run for more than just a little spawn of time. So we'll see what happens this time. Let me try and set things up again. Alright, can you guys see it from there? Damn it, cup. Alright, that should work. least it gets a workout. It'll polish all the junk off of it. So now the next step is to tear that carburetor apart, at least the top of it off, and see if I can get it running on that carburetor. And if not, I guess rebuild kit time. But the proof's in the pudding. It runs, and so far it isn't smoking out the exhaust and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But the only thing that worries me is all the steam and stuff coming out of that. So don't know if that's normal. I really don't have that many Onans that run perfect, so I guess this one will just be another one of the bunch. So gonna get the top of that carburetor off and see what happens after that. But she lives. After all that messing around, she lives. So don't have to use one of my other engines. Now I can use this one. And then if I can get it running off the carb, then we'll dive into the wiring. And then I'm gonna get this cover made. And then belt time, and then see if we can take it for a burn. And then I gotta find an exhaust, which I might just make that at my work, and I want to put a big stack on it. So I want to hear that drone of the Onan, a nice hum. So let me see what I can do. Still got plenty of daylight. Maybe we'll get this thing running off of a gas can instead of me fuel injecting it. So stay tuned. Okay, so from the last video, I know I couldn't talk over how loud it is, but you can see that now it runs with the carburetor, with a gas tank now, and also no choke, and it can idle down to basically nothing, lower than I thought it would idle, and then it revs up. So I finally beat the curse of the Onan. So we got good spark. It seems to clear up once it sits there and idles for a little bit. I think it loads up with some fuel, and then when you give it gas, it clears its throat. That's what a little bit of the smoke is. I'm sure a little bit more carb tuning, I can get it to stop smoking as much, but I might switch to 15W40. But I don't think it's an oil smoke, but I am going to change the oil one more time. I already did change it. There was some slight, like, silver looking in there. Nothing too crazy. I'm just assuming that maybe there was some rust and gunk still in there and it polished off, and that's the remnants of it. But probably another 30 minutes of runtime, I'll change the oil again, and if it's still that way, then we're still going to run it, but at least we'll have a better idea what we got. So gonna find an exhaust, or make an exhaust, and then the next thing's going to be all the wiring, which this might all be fine. I haven't tried any of it yet, so as long as it starts and charges, I don't care what it looks like really at this time. But moving on to that next, we'll get the engine bolted down after we know the wiring works, get the hood mounted down, and then get a dry belt on it, and then some other smalls. The steering's real tight, and I got to get the proper hardware for the front wheels, which I have upstairs, just focusing on the more important stuff right now. So I was going to tear into that one today, but it's starting to rain, so if it kind of slows down, maybe I'll mess with that some and give you some more footage, but it's not looking too good. But hopefully you guys like the journey with this thing. I got it running. It looked like complete garbage on the inside when I bought it, and now it runs pretty good. It's one of my better running ones, so even though they look like crap, sometimes the worst looking one ends up being the best one, so that's what it seems like turned out with this one. So we're going to keep cleaning it up and making stuff work on it, and then see what happens from there. So either a future restore project or just maybe leave it the way it is and try and clean it up. I don't know yet, but I got too many projects going on. I really just wanted to see if I could make this one run. The challenge was pretty enticing, so we're going to have to get a seat spring and gas tank, get some other things taken care of, which I have the parts laying around, just got to gather them up and tinker with it when I have time. So stay tuned. We got some cool stuff for tomorrow when we go on our little road trip, so hopefully you guys like that, and I hope you like this. So talk to you later. Okay guys, the rain did stop. It's still kind of pretty crappy out here, but this I'm pretty excited about. So I literally got my ghetto battery over there. I got the battery charger hooked to my car battery that was in my Firebird, and now hooked to jumper cables coming over to this. I did check before. I literally only have 2 minutes of messing with this, but this guy does have spark. I squirted a little bit of gas down in there, and mind you, I only paid, what did I pay? I only paid probably, I got 2 of them in a deal for, it was supposed to be 40 bucks, but they turned out to be so nice I gave the guy 60 bucks because he helped load them. But all I literally did was squirt some down the spark plug hole, and I'm going to hook up my, this is off my SS15, this gas can. I'm going to use it because it has a bunch of gas in it that's pretty old I want to get rid of. So I've just been using it to clean frames and start junk. But I'm going to cut real quick. I'm going to dump probably about a quart of fuel into this one. I'm just going to see if it'll run. I'm going to check the oil and see what happens. It'd be awesome if it just starts up and runs perfect. Don't have to do anything, so I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I don't know if you can see, I just got to where the little mesh filter petcock thingies under gas, so it definitely should have enough to where it starts sucking it down. So let me set you guys up so I got my hands all free. There you go, you can see there. Now this is truly first start. I never checked the oil, I forgot that. Oil is perfectly filled and clean as a whistle, so whoever had this took care of it. So we'll see what happens. I think it'll start right up. And we don't want full throttle. Oh wow. That's impressive. Is that the fuel that I squirted in burn up already, and we don't got any yet to the fuel pump. That was pretty cool. Now I know it'll start. Yep, we got a dry spark plug, so there's no fuel where we need it. So we're just gonna show it a little bit more love than the last time. Hopefully it'll run long enough to suck some fuel up. doesn't have a drain thing on the carb either. Maybe the float's stuck is my thoughts. Well, I'll be damned. That was 5 minutes worth of work and she's up and running. We got the fuel pump leaking everywhere, and it has the typical Tecumseh knock. So maybe some thicker oil, or just change the oil to 10W30 and then see what happens there. But it doesn't smoke. I don't mind if they knock, as long as they don't smoke like a sieve. So we know she runs, and time to take it apart, and it'll probably go on to something else, one of my Suburban 10s or something of that nature. So sorry for being such a quick one, but that was almost too easy. And that's what $25 gets you these days, is a good running, good looking ST10. So they don't make them like they used to. So until tomorrow, I'll catch you guys later, because the rain is coming back again. So talk to you tomorrow. Later.